First at 6, emergency rules are in effect and the state is asking for a second chance after several greyhounds tested positive for cocaine. Good evening, I'm Jeff Vallon. We've been closely following the litigation regarding greyhound racing in Florida. Last week, a judge struck down the state's drug testing rules for racing greyhounds. That judge was presiding over the cases of 2 trainers who had a total of 24 dogs between them test positive for cocaine metabolites. First Coast News' Julia Jenae has been going through those case files and joins us now live. Julia, tell us more about those emergency rules.
Well, Jeff, those emergency rules, they were signed into effect on Wednesday. They were just published within the last 24 to 48 hours. And they were signed by the director of the Department of Business and Professional Regulations who oversees gambling here in the state. There was a concern after that judge struck down those drug testing rules, a concern by lawmakers and by animal activists that those greyhound races that continue to happen across Florida 5 times a week here on the First Coast, that there would be no deterrent from those races possibly being fixed with drugs. But with these emergency rules in place, they are going to be in effect until those new rules are decided on. Now, those 2 trainers that you mentioned, they challenged these agency laws, and they said in court that these specimens weren't being handled properly. The urine samples that were taken from their dogs, they say that everyday contaminants could skew those results. They also questioned the threshold requirement. The state agency had a 0 tolerance for any presence of cocaine. We talked to a veterinarian here in Jacksonville who said there's really not a standard to gauge how much cocaine is too much.
There's no reason that a dog should be exposed to cocaine, and especially a dog that's being used for a monetary gain. A reason to give it to a racing dog, in theory, I guess it would be a stimulant, but we don't know of any reason that would make a dog race faster.
The judge has yet to decide whether the state's threshold needs to be changed. He also hasn't decided on whether or not he's going to reinstate the licenses of those 2 trainers who were suspended. At this time, they are waiting on answers, but the state is also asking for the judge to reconsider his invalidation of all of their drug testing rules last week. We'll, of course, continue to follow this story and keep you updated. For now, reporting downtown, Julia Jenae, First Coast News, on your side.